Hello, you guys. I'm just checking a few of my audio here. All right. Pull up my chat box. It's not what I wanted. Okay, how do I go back? I was read mode. Okay. All right, there. Now I can see everybody chat. All right, you guys. Welcome to Blue Angel Family YouTube channel. And today, I know we have been doing lots of business videos in regards to the SBA EIDL, and I thought we would kind of start to go down some of the basic business information for those people that want to start a new business. And maybe you already have a business and you just want to start a second business. So most people who are looking to start a business, and if they're going to be a sole proprietor, which means just yourself or you and your husband, one household kind of type of business with no employees, will just tend to use their social security number, which is absolutely fine. You can start that business and you can file your federal income to state taxes using your social security number, and then just put other income and then register your business, through a Schedule C reporting system. We can cover some of that another day. But let's say that you want to separate your business from yourself and not use your social security number. I personally am a multi-business owner. I own a massage clinic. I own a salon. I own a real estate building that is basically a business complex full of multi-businesses that we collect rent on, every month. So each one of those things had a different type of tax kind of setup. So we have a couple LLCs, we have a couple of things that we just run under an EIN as a sole proprietorship. So it depends on how you decide to kind of structure your business. So there are lots of options. So basically, when you are going to start a business, aside from all of the basic things that you need for a business name, your business research, your business funding, and I started most of my businesses from scratch with no funding. So, we'll probably cover more of those topics later as well. So what you need to start with and, to try to learn about, and you can hire people to do this. However, most of the government, IRS stuff on the website is pretty easy to understand. And you can definitely call them and they will help you. They will not help give you legal advice on how you should structure your business because that's not their area. Then you would hire, an attorney or an accountant. So, but if you go to the IRS website and you can see I'm on irs.gov here, and then you click businesses. If you're a small business, you'll click that, okay? If you're not considered a small business, typically anything over 500 employees, you're going to start to get into a different area. If you have a business that has a bunch of employees, it's going to change a few things on the way you structure your business to protect yourself. Of course, you should talk with an accountant and a lawyer about how would be best to protect your personal assets as well as your company. So for me, it's pretty laid forward. Let's say you're this could be any kind of business. Let's say you're a construction worker that is deciding to go out on his own. Or maybe you're a hairstylist, or maybe you have a dog walking business, or maybe you're providing a service for someone in your community. You're going to go to apply for an employer identification number. So anytime that you are paying the IRS your federal income taxes, or even your bank is going to ask for your EIN number to put on your account information. Your EIN number can also be your social security number if you're sole proprietor. However, your social security number is a number you want to protect from the public. So why would you want to give that to, let's say, people that you're hiring to do a job, or let's say you have to provide a W-9 with your social security number on it because you are going to be getting paid from somebody. And it's going to be more than $600, and they want a W-9 so that they can file a 1099 later at the end of the year for tax purposes. You don't want to be giving everybody your social security number. So we apply for an employer identification number. EIN is what we call that. And this is basically a number in the government system that identifies your business. And so to determine your eligibility, here's step one. It shows you may apply for the EIN if your principal business is located in the United States or U.S. territories. So this is for United States businesses or U.S. territories. So, and I do believe that that would include Puerto Rico. I'm not really sure what they consider U.S. territories, but I'm sure that if you would know if you live there. So the person applying online must have a valid taxpayer identification number. So the ITIN, which is similar to the EIN or Social Security. So if you're applying for an EIN number and you do not have an EIN number currently that is for this specific business, you would use your Social Security number. This is how the IRS or the government knows that this sole owner is that this Social Security number is who belongs to this EIN number. So the government will have that. You want to make sure when you're applying for an EIN number that you are on the IRS government website and not some other company that is trying to scam you to say, I'll get you an EIN number, just pay me, blah, blah, blah. So you make sure you're on the www.irs.gov website, and then, you do this way. You can also call, a little easier to walk through the process so you can print out your stuff. So it says you are limited to one EIN per responsible party per day. Well, I have multiple EIN numbers. I never applied for them all in one day. So I don't think that for most people that is going to be a problem. It is also important that if you do apply for an EIN number that you notify the government that you're dissolving your business if you decide not to follow through with opening it. Otherwise, they might be like, wait a minute, this business exists here, why aren't they paying taxes? And they're going to definitely reach out to you someday. So, step 2, understand the online application. You must complete this application in one session, as you will not be able to save or return. Your session will expire after 15 minutes. It's really pretty easy. I'll show you guys in a sec. So step 3, submit your application. After all validations are done, you will get an EIN immediately upon completion. You can download, save, and print the EIN confirmation number. Exactly. So what I tend to do is I'll apply, I'll take a picture, I'll hit print, and that way I have the number immediately, and it usually does email it as well. So before we hit apply now, employer tax responsibilities explained. This will talk about, what your responsibility is for wages and basically tax withholdings and different federal tax stuff. That's a completely separate area, and it will be different depending on your type of business. There's some exempt organization information. In the end, your organization, it says, is formally legally before you apply for the EIN. So if you haven't applied, if you have a nonprofit organization or an organization that normally be exempt from federal income tax, then you would want to go through and do your 501 exemption process before you apply for the EIN. So that's legal, that it's already exempt before you go through this process. That's a whole different thing, but we're not talking about nonprofits today. And please ignore my dogs if they start barking. I just heard my husband come home. So we're going to go to the apply online. Well, that's not going to do any good. So what will normally happen here is when you hit the apply online, you will get a simple application. It wants your information. It wants your, it basically wants your business name, your business location. If that is your business home, is the same as your home, that's okay too. Since that's not opening, let's try to see if their frequently answered questions is here. Let's see, here is online EIN frequently asked questions. So when can I use an internet EIN to make tax payments or file returns? You can use it for everything. Before you open a business account for your business, they're going to require that. This is the first step. Once you have a business name, even if you don't have a business location, because you can change that later, you can use your home address for now. But you need this form with your EIN or just the number. The bank is just going to want the number to open a bank account. I have to open a new savings account for one of my businesses this week. And because I'm separating money from normal capital coming into the business. So I will need an EIN number to do so. Applying for business licenses. Even when I required to apply for with our state, which is in South Dakota, through the Secretary of State to register our business name, as well as to apply for an LLC, I needed that EIN number. So you're going to need that. It identifies your business as a legal entity with the government. Filing a tax return by mail. You would need it for filing a tax return whether it's mail or not. So whether you do your own taxes through, an online software program like H&R or TurboTax or any of those other platforms, you would need an EIN number to identify your business. So, however, it says it will take up to 2 weeks before the EIN becomes part of the IRS's permanent records. That doesn't matter if you're applying just for a bank account and stuff. In the event that you want to send the IRS money immediately for like your quarterly income tax or something, or you need a call about some issue, you may need to wait for that to be in their permanent records because they will not be able to pull you up quite yet. But that's not usually an issue for why people need that at the very, very beginning. If you're starting your business, there's most likely you haven't had any money coming in yet. Now, if you took a hobby from home and now you're starting to sell your crafts and you want to make it a legit business because you need to pay taxes on this now, or your kids have a lawn business and you need to make it a legitimate business because they're starting to make over the limit that kids need to start paying income tax, then you're going to want to go ahead and, maybe pay your taxes from anything prior to when you applied for the EIN for that year that they are going to, go over that threshold. Sometimes I don't know all of the information required on the application. Why do I have to complete the application online when I send in a paper or fax with missing information? If you don't have all of your business information yet, you probably want to wait to apply for the EIN. For example, if you don't have your business email set up or your name registered to make sure that in your state, or if you're going beyond that for a trademark to see if it's actually available, you want to make sure you can secure that name and that you have your business name before you move forward. There's a few other things, like if you're, maybe going to set it up for maybe a partnership or something, and you need to secure that before you register it as a sole proprietor. I mean, you wouldn't want to do a sole proprietor, then you got to go in and switch it to partnership later. So then again, you would want to talk to your accountant. I'm more talking to yourself, small business, just husband, wife, gig, or just sole proprietor, one person business where it doesn't get too complicated. The legal name of a business includes a symbol for a $sign. Does the IRS accept symbols as part of the business name? The answer to that is clear. It's no. There is here what they would accept. So if you fall into that category, all you got to do is click the frequently asked questions before you apply. What do I need? What do I do if my entire address won't fit on the address line of the internet application. There is a second line. You can stretch it into the apartment numbers, suites, or additional information. Are any entity types excluded from applying from the EIN over the internet? And that answer is no. It's just that you really need to have all of your information first. Principal, officer, stuff like that. That you will know if that pertains to you. Like if you have an LLC or a corporation who isn't basically in charge of reporting this stuff. What if I forget the number I obtained over the internet? Well, I have done this very early on, like 20 years ago. So you can simply call this 1-800-829-4933. They're going to go through a few things with you, want your social security number, but they will be able to locate your EIN and send you out a verification email with that, and you'll never misplace it again. And it's pretty simple to do, but it's just a hassle. Do all EIN numbers obtained in the internet start with these numbers? I don't know why that would really matter, but yes. I mean, they said yes. Do I have a certain computer or software to obtain the EIN over the internet? No. In fact, you can use your phone. I have used my phone and not just but you can open an internet browser. I've done it from the library. Just make sure you don't click the button that says to save your personal information on their computers if you're using a public computer, just to protect yourself. Now that I have an EIN, when can I use it to make tax deposits? Well, after the few weeks that becomes permanent information into the tax system, you can basically do that right away. So I tend to, after I make my first federal income tax year and pay, then I would tend to get envelopes in the mail with forms that I could just send in quarterly. Those never come until after basically my first year of filing. So let me just recap on what we covered today. There's lots of business stuff here. There's lots of information about taxes and everything. But we just wanted to cover today the EIN numbers. So, this is where you apply. You go to IRS.gov, you hit businesses, you hit small businesses. You can also type in the search engine EIN. This is your employer ID number, your identification number, basically. The taxpayer identification number is the TIN, but everybody needs some type of identification number to correspond with the government to pay your taxes. Get your bank account with your bank, and register through your state your business information. So that's pretty much all I have for you today. If you have any questions, just drop them in the chat box and I will respond when I can. Don't expect a response right away. I do have a job. So we would love for you to subscribe. You hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and every time I post a business video, it will pop up and let you know, and you can read the title and see if that's something you want to tune into. So thank you guys for watching my video today, and I hope you guys have a great year and good luck with that business. We really appreciate your time.